Hey everybody, it's Overkill here with another online battle for Total War Attila. Well, actually this is the first one for Attila. Third online battle in general, and I did two for Age of Charlemagne, right? But yeah, today I am showing you a game that I had earlier, playing as the Western Roman Empire. My ally is the Visigoths, as you can see. He has a much larger army than me, and we're up against the Huns and the Geats, I believe. I believe that is the Geats. Sadly, I don't have the names because names don't show up in this game, it seems, of the players, which kind of sucks, but whatever. So I'll do a quick rundown of all the armies. So I have 4 Ballistari, 5 units of Elite Palatina. My general is a Magister Militum. I'm a noob at Attila, so I don't know if these units are good. But then I have 2 units of Scholae Palatinae and 2 units of Cataphracti. Or Cataphractory? Cataphractory, right. My ally has 5 units of Germanic archers, 4 units of Germanic spearmen, 5 units of Gothic 4 units of Gothic warband rather, and 1 unit of Germanic nobles for a general. He has 2 Gothic pikemen, 2 units of Gothic lancers, and 2 units of Germanic mounted warband. Now, when we go over to the Huns, they have 4 units of Hunnic mounted bows, 2 units of Hunnic lancers, 4 units of Hunnic mounted warband, 2 units of noble steppe cataphracts, and 1 unit of, well, he has a Hunnic warlord for his general. And finally, with the Geats, there are 4 units of, oh, nope, these are different. Alright, so 2 units of Viking Raider cavalry, 2 units of Nordic horse raiders. He has 4 units of Nordic axeband, it seems. Yep, his general is a Viking captain. He has 2 units of Nordic bows, 2 Nordic spearmen, and 3 Nordic pikemen. So yeah, let's get right into this. I could have let the battle go in the background, but me and my ally were kind of wondering what we were going to be doing, what the game plan was going to be. But I thought we'd form a line and defend because I figured the Geats were going to push with the Huns. As you can see, the Huns player rather is doing a just full-on push onto our left side, which is my ally's side. You can see that this wasn't even on purpose, but we deployed pretty nicely. It's almost like we deployed like a normal army. His archers were lined up with mine. Our infantry, for the most part, was lined up. He put all of his cav on this side. I put all of mine on that side. It was pretty cool. We weren't really talking. There was no communication like at all in this game, and I believe that's why the enemy team fails. But you can see here he's pushing his Hunnic mounted bows forward. I'm just going to focus on this battle for the most part because it takes a long time for me to start engaging the Geats. But you can see that my allies' cavalry just pins them in this corner. This was very foolish of the Hunnic player to do. It also helps that I think these guys were pretty inexperienced when it comes to Total War because it was a thrashing, basically. I wasn't paying much attention to this side, but I think my guy kind of was like not really paying as much attention. But even still, there's an interesting moment when I'm fighting him. So yeah, you can see he just lets his, I guess he turned on skirmish mode with his mounted bows, and they just ran right into the edge of the map. So he actually pinned some of them. He's not killing many of them. He's gotten some good kills on this unit, but for the most part, not much. And then he gets charged in the rear by a bunch of Hunnic units, and he's also leaving his cavalry idled, which is not good. His lancers just got charged by multiple units, so they're gonna suffer some serious casualties. You can see he's pushing most of his army this way now. The entire Hunnic army is just in this corner. It's not looking good for him already, just from this situation. Literally all of his cavalry just bundled right here, right in this corner. Until he clicks them to go engage somebody. He should be keeping them moving. He should be flanking around with these horse archers. He could have easily dropped all of these units. You can see now he's starting to move them. But he easily could have been going around with flaming shots, shooting at all these cavalry units, taking them out. But instead, he's letting his units get bogged down, shot by the enemy archers. Or, well, shot by my friendly archers, I suppose. But, yeah, you can see at first, though, it looked bad for the Huns, but they are overcoming my ally here. But, this is only like a scratch on the surface of my teammate's army. He still has all of his archers, more archers over here, all this infantry and such. Yeah, it's a bit rough for the Huns right now. But you can see I finally decided where I'm actually going to start going. I'm starting to move against the Geats as I notice that they've formed a defensive position. He's put his pikes down. He's not moving anywhere, so it's time to get the Ballistari to work. You can see he's hiding cavalry in these areas. He has cavalry back here, and cavalry here. I'm not sure. Yeah, it's supposed to be hidden. I couldn't see these. At one moment I seen a unit go here and a unit go here, and that's it. That's all I saw. So I'm preemptively putting my cavalry on each flank to kind of counteract that, and that's where the first sign of this guy being not really paying attention really comes through, because he had cavalry on my flanks this entire engagement, and he didn't use them. So I almost think he wasn't paying any attention until it was too late. You can see the Hun player has all of his units bundled together. It's pretty rough looking, to be honest. It's definitely not looking good for him, considering he's almost lost a couple of units. He may have actually lost a few as well. I mean, his general's unit's been almost reduced to half strength. A lot of his units are just beat up really bad, and the Gothic player hasn't paid anything for it really. He's lost a few hundred men from his his spears and stuff, but all in all, it's still looking pretty good. He has all of his archers. Archers are just going to absolutely wreck these units if they're left alone to shoot them. But as you can see, we finally moved into range. My Ballistari are lining up their crossbows for those pikemen. You can see they start firing very soon. We're actually taking fire from the enemy crossbows, so I decided to just run them forward to start shooting. This is going to be the first unit that starts firing. There they go. They're loading them up. There they go. The first bolts have been fired at these pikemen. And look at that. Look at the absolute destruction that they suffer because of that. You can see I'm also flanking around with my cavalry units now. I wasn't quite sure where the enemy cavalry was. Well, it turns out they were right here and here. But I assumed they must have been keeping them around this area. So I put my cav through, just kind of scouting through, trying to find them. And eventually I do. And you can see, because the crossbows shoot straight, they're actually shooting through the pikes and killing a bunch of archers as well. It's actually killing almost as many archers as it is pikemen, which is awesome. But this is where I noticed the enemy cavalry units. I seen this one, so I send this unit to go charge into them. And then I flank around with my cataphractory, and they charge into the back. And it's over pretty quickly. You can see that his units are starting to waver here now. You can just tell. You can tell he's not really paying attention. Maybe he had to go make a sandwich. Maybe his mother called him out of the room. Who knows? But all I know is all this infantry could have easily killed mine. I have 5 units of Palatina rather. If he was paying attention, it would have been a very different situation. So this is where I find the other units of cavalry, right about now, I would imagine. There we go. So I charge into them, and then I get my cataphractory in here as well. Seeing that he's not paying attention at all or moving his units, I just decide to charge them straight in. You can see now that we've broken both units of cavalry here, and now they are shattered. So now these 2 units of cavalry are free to do whatever they wish, which we put them to use doing this. So you can see I actually left my general behind. I have a very bad tendency to do this in Attila for some reason. If you're watching any of my Age of Charlemagne series, I've done it probably once in each one by now. But anyway, all that's happening over there is cavalry death, and me shooting at pikemen. But here you can see that the enemy Huns, the Huns are still here. They're just chilling. It seems like their forces have been cut in half. Well, not in half really. This is a pretty small portion of the army, but like these units have been left behind. He's running from the Goths at this point and coming over to my side, and this is where it gets interesting. Even though this guy's putting up no fight, so it's very easy. I didn't see this coming because I was focusing on killing him. And it nearly ends the battle for me. And you'll see in a second as they get this way. He sees that I'm distracted fighting this guy, and he very wisely acts on it. I think this guy knows what he's doing, but he didn't perform correctly against the Goths. He could have easily worked around the Goths, but no, he just left his unit alone. But like if he kept them moving like he's doing now, this is what happens. Like he almost caught all my men. Thankfully, I noticed this as I was looking this way, and I seen all these cav. I was like, oh god. At first, I thought it was the Nordic cav that I was looking for, because I killed all these units, but I should have realized that this was his army. But I scroll over and I see the Huns, and I'm like, oh god, we're gonna die. But it actually worked out very well. I managed to get my Ballistari out of there without losing too many of them. And we just get in there. we just charge. And I accidentally clicked Control A in my panic. I panicked. I was like, oh my god, I need to do this. So all of my men actually start moving, and one of my units of cataphractory just charges into the enemy infantry. But you can see I get these guys in here. I start moving these guys around. The infantry is moving in. It was a failed assault by the Huns, to say the least. But yeah. So this unit of cataphractory gets away from that infantry, thankfully, and they can just charge into these guys. They break them pretty easily. And yeah, that's the rest of the Hun units that I was dealing with gone. I just lost a unit of my Scole Palatine there, but that's no big deal. And we also lose a unit of cataphractory. But I mean, at this point, is it really that big of a deal? Not really. If we quickly look over, you can see that the enemy general and his last two units have been, well, last two other than these, have been caught in a corner by archers and swordsmen and pikes. So it's not looking good for them at all. And then these two units of horse archers have run out of ammo, so they're not going to be much use either. He's probably just going to charge them in. But you can see now I'm starting to envelop the enemy. This is where he actually starts giving his units orders, which is, I was just blown away. I was like, wow, he's actually here. So I don't know if he was just playing really defensively and letting his men die, which you don't want to do in Attila, or if he was just out of the room, not paying attention. Who knows? All I know is that it didn't really work out for him, let's say. So I get all my Ballistari to start shooting at the enemy general. Oddly enough, they're on... There we go. That's where I switched it to normal shot. They were on flaming shot for some reason. Oh god. Look at the size difference of these guys. Holy cow. But yeah, you can see that the Ballistari, the bolts of the Ballistari are just flying into this Viking captain unit and just absolutely mauling him over. You can see I'm flanking around my cav. I was going to go after some archers, but they broke, so I felt like that wasn't really necessary. So I turned my cavalry around to finish off the rest of these infantry units, and you can see that they all start breaking now. The Viking captain and the Nordic Axe Warband were the last two units to break, and just like that, the Geat army has been destroyed. Basically, there's just some pikemen left here that aren't broken. And yeah, that's basically all that's left to them. You can see now that the enemy... the enemy Huns. I keep saying that for some reason. The Huns are just giving up at this point. They're just charging in, letting their general die. These cataphracts are fighting with Gothic warband. There's pikes coming in right behind them. It's all over for them, essentially. They try to get away, but it's just not going to happen. You can see the enemy, the Hunnic mounted bows charge into the Gothic warband. They were just absolutely demolished. And here is the final unit of the battle, the Noble Steppe cataphracts. They are about to die due to pikes going right in their behinds, and there you go. It was a Pyrrhic victory for us. And yeah, so hopefully you guys enjoyed the battle. I know it wasn't the most back and forth battle in the world, but for how much I play multiplayer, I thought I might as well get a video out for it. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed, and yeah, I'll see you next time. Goodbye.